Hello everybody and welcome to a video that I've been excited to make for like 3 years. It is the transformation of my upstairs hallway. When I moved into the house, it was a mess. Not only did it have, iconic lime green carpets, this entire stairway was walled off with a door and insulation and everything. They had completely sealed it off. The house had been vacant for years before I bought it, but the last person who did live here was an old man who lived here by himself. So my theory is that they basically blocked off the upstairs so that he could just live downstairs and save on heating. The shame of this is that they left a bit of a disaster in their wake, and it's been a big challenge to fix it and bring it back to its former glory, but I'm really proud of how it's going. The weird part about this renovation, though, compared to so many of the other ones I've done, is that what I like to do, for the most part, is start a project and see it to basically its end. But this hallway happened in such a piecemeal way. Like, I worked on a section and then I didn't touch the whole thing for a year. And then I worked on another section and I didn't touch it for a year. So it's been years of working on this, but not in a very concerted way, in kind of a frazzled way. So today I'm going to talk about how I took it from this to where we are now. The original catalyst for any work up here was the carpet. One day, my partner said to me that he couldn't stand the carpet, that it grossed him out and that he hated it. And he was like, can we just rip it out? I was like, absolutely. So we ripped out the carpet, and I don't have much footage of it because, like I said, it was a crime of passion. It just happened in the moment. But we ripped out the carpet and instantly the place felt better because we were just down to the old subfloor. It felt way nicer than it had before. At least you could like feel clean here. We had that for a while, but then I had friends coming over. My best friend Raylene, who I co-host a podcast with and everything, she was going to come visit me for the first time. And I was like, I don't want to have this ridiculous wall here anymore. So I went and ripped it out. My mom and I pulled down the fake wood paneling and safely removed all of the insulation that was in the wall. Okay, this is what it looks like underneath. Disgusting pink insulation. Ugh. Okay, we have finished removing the outer walls and the pink insulation carefully and with masks on. But it's exciting because now it's just the outer layer. You can see downstairs already. Okay, I didn't record it, but that piece just went flying down the stairs. Now we've got open. Oh, that's bad. Oh no.
What's going on?
We smashed the light bulb.
Oh. I thought you broke the window over there.
Oh, that would be an even worse disaster.
Oh my god, you're going insane.
And then my brother CJ and I cut out all of the studs. Again, it was like a random night and another crime of passion. We just grabbed a saw and started sawing. The biggest change that this made was that the light from this beautiful big window, this gorgeous window, was able to finally filter through all the way from one side of the hallway to the other side of the hallway and also down the stairs. Previously, like if you were on that side of the hallway, it was a really dark place. But now I'd removed these walls, removed the studs, it was open. At this point, I did make one video called Making One Corner of My House Beautiful, where I tackled that back corner. And I used the paint that I had been using downstairs, and I decided to do a board and batten technique up here. We're going to talk about that again later on, but this is the first little project I did up here that I actually documented, and there's a whole video about that if you want to see the first little project I tackled. But now it really truly was time to create a railing up here, because obviously it was really dangerous to not have a railing up here, but this was a whole journey. So here we are for the exciting next part, the rail. But before I tell you about how it came into existence, we are going to share a word from today's sponsor, Cotton. I'm so happy to be working with Cotton again for this video, sharing their new bedding in their home collection. They also sent me some of their incense from their new apothecary collection, which I'm so excited to burn. Cotton uses natural fibers which will biodegrade at the end of their life cycle and sources their cotton directly from the Better Cotton Initiative and small family-run farms in Egypt. With each purchase, they give back to their farming communities in rural Egypt through the funding of literacy programs. To date, Cotton has built 18 schools in the Nile Delta and Fayum regions. It means a lot to me that the things I bring into my home are created ethically and sustainably, and I feel so sure of that with Cotton. And not only that, but they are such luscious and beautiful quality. I dressed my bedroom and my guest room in their new sheets. They look so stunning. And I put the gorgeous new checkered quilt on the reading nook, but I also tried it out in my bedroom. I have loved Cotton's products for years. Their clothing is so well made. Their textiles are so beautiful. I know you're going to want to check them out. So I've curated a list of some of my favorites. You can check that link down in the description, and you can use my code ArielBissett15 to get 15% off of their stuff. Thank you so much to Cotton for sponsoring this video. Now let's transition back and talk about how this railing came to be. So downstairs, the downstairs hallway, I was transforming that space. Again, that has its own video. And I hated the spindles that were there. They may have been beautiful at one time, but they were the kind of gummy that happens when you paint over something like a dozen times. They just were awful looking. And so I really wanted to tear those out. And my dream was to get something like this, like a really beautiful old spindle. So I went to the hardware store and I was looking everywhere for beautiful spindles. They're so expensive. So I ended up having one of my greatest, if not my greatest, Facebook Marketplace find ever, which was finding these spindles. It was just this rich guy who was remodeling his home and just wanted them out of his garage. So sold me like 50 or 60 of them for $150. It was an insane, it was actually an insane find. I was so excited, and even though they don't match perfectly with the color of everything else, all the other wood, doesn't matter. They're so beautiful that they actually do work. So we installed those downstairs and then we ran them up here. We're at an exciting stage of the situation. So we are going to replace these spindles with pretty spindles. Wait, where's the spindles? I got these spindles. They look so regal and beautiful. So we're gonna start the installation process. Apart from just aesthetics and wanting to upgrade this staircase to look even more regal, and by the way, I'm not done painting yet, but the other reason that we're doing this is because if you come up the stairs, and this is gonna be a separate video, this upstairs hallway doesn't even have a handrail or anything. So I needed to get spindles for up here anyway. We were gonna have to build a whole new handrail. And by redoing this, it will look beautiful, but it will also match. So this is what it looks like upstairs right now. When we sawed off this wall, me and CJ. Now we're gonna try and get in here. Because we've gotta see what it looks like under this. How will the spindles attach? I also bought this newel post. Father, I can't not think about Christmas Story or Christmas Vacation.
Fix the newel post, honey.
Fix the newel post. So that will go on that corner for the new rail that goes around to there. Here's something hilarious. I spent like what, $26 for this, right? Looks like a newel post. It's a half. It's a fake half. It'll go up there to unite the handrail to the wall. One of the most tragic discoveries, like I remember having my fingers crossed, praying that when I removed this fake wall, that I guess it wasn't a fake wall, it was a real wall. It was studded and insulated, it was a real wall. When I removed that wall, I was hoping that somehow they would have left the railing in here. They did not. They had completely ripped it out. But miracle of all miracles, I found most, not all, but most of the original railing in the back room. It was shoved up above like rafters in the old storage room. Like, thank God. It's pretty high up there.
Hold on, I'll get it.
Somebody in the past, some hero, was like, you know, maybe one day we'll want this piece of wood back. Or maybe they thought they could upcycle it and reuse this beautiful old finished wood somewhere else, because it is just gorgeously varnished and everything. Thankfully, they just tucked it away and forgot about it. And then I rediscovered it. And so my dad and I installed the new spindles, but got to use the old original handrail. Unfortunately, it doesn't go all the way. I wish I could have seen a photo of what it looked like here on the corner bit, because I bet you it was beautiful and looked really cool. And then my dad built a piece here that attaches so that it was long enough to attach to the old piece. And then I just bought a new handrail to finish off this side. And then, like that, we had a handrail. Because I wasn't filming a video at the time, we were just kind of going with the flow and doing stuff. It's like a found footage film that we're working on here. I think I have one little clip when I had finished this project, probably to like send to my friends to be like, look, we have a handrail. Going through all of this footage yesterday to see how I was going to build this video was really interesting because I kept remembering things. I forgot that the dogs used to sleep up here, for example. This was their zone. But then the other thing, I found this great clip of how when Eddie would come up the stairs before we'd finished the railing, he was very danger averse, which is really fascinating to me. Like, he was so aware that there was no railing, and he would always come up all the way on the edge and go all the way around as far away as possible from the hole, from the gaping hole. So next it was time for the floors. These were the second floors I ever installed in the house. The first time I did flooring was in the guest room, my brother's room, and they turned out well, but I learned a lot. They were the first floors I ever did, and while I'm like proud of them because of how much they taught me, eventually I'm going to redo them probably, just because I've learned so much. But it meant that by the time I got to these floors, I really felt like I'd figured it out. My dad and I installed the wooden planks. My mom helped me sand the floor, but then I finished it. So I stained it and did all the layers of polyurethane and everything. And in the end, I am so proud of this floor. I actually had a plumber come by the other day to look at the upstairs bathroom, which I'm obviously working on. And as he was exiting it, he commented on my floors. He's like, these are really great floors. I was like, thank you. I did them. He was like, really? They look great with this old house. I was like, thank you. That's what I was going for. It felt like a big compliment to come from like a person who works in construction and also probably sees hundreds of houses every year. So once the floors were done, I was feeling really proud of them. The next project that I did was this nook. Okay, I've pivoted us over here to talk about the reading nook, and I'm excited to talk about this because this is actually one of my favorite projects I've ever done for the house. Also, kind of a full circle moment, when I did this reading nook, when I built it and did the video about it, it was sponsored by Cotton. So that's feeling nice and cyclical that we're now doing this hallway video sponsored by Cotton. You may also notice that my hair looks a little different. It's because it's actually the next day. I filmed this yesterday, I was so happy with it, but then when I looked at the footage, it was out of focus. But that's okay, we're back. This window here is obviously one of the most special parts of this hallway, but also of this house. It's just beautiful. Ever since I moved into the house and saw it, I instantly knew I wanted to have some sort of a bench situation under this window to be able to just really revel in it. And so I conceptualized of this nook and I had a lot of fun building it. I really felt like I was starting to learn how to do things, and then it has built-in storage, and the whole project came together really well. I'm very proud of it. And so there's a whole video about this project. After this project, I have one more video that came out about the hallway, and it was about that wall. So let's pivot over there too. This wall I made a video about, and it looks great. Like I said, we would talk about the board and batten again. So here we are. The board and batten, I had seen a lot of houses that are of a similar ilk to this house doing online, and I thought it looked really beautiful. And so I decided to install it here. I like it, but I actually like the trim that I've done in the dining room since more. So if I could go back in time, I would go back and I would do trim here instead of the board and batten, but that's okay. It looks good. I like it enough. And I kept thinking like, that's it, I'm ripping it out, I'm starting over, I'm gonna do the trim. Nope. And then I get to my senses and I'm like, I'm exhausted, never mind. Paint-wise, I obviously also decided to do the same green that I did down in the hallway because I thought that would be really nice continuity-wise, that you have the dark green downstairs and then as you come upstairs, it flows through in this kind of center of the house hallways situation. One change though, and so this can kind of let us pivot into the next part and final part of this video, is talking about what's left to do. One change I want to make from the current iteration of this hallway is I don't want to have this white anymore. I have decided we need wallpaper. I love wallpaper, and there's very few situations where I see wallpaper and I think, that's too much. I love the maximalist vibe that wallpaper gives, the beautiful finished feeling of it. And so I am going to, I think, wallpaper here. Haven't chosen the wallpaper yet though, so that's an exciting decision to come. Above me, you can see the other big thing that needs to be finished. The ceiling. It is a mess. It's a mess because of the wall that got ripped down. It's a mess because one of the other big updates that happened was electricity, brand new, beautiful, safe electricity was put in. So I've really got to patch the ceiling. I need to rip down this wall. That's the old fake paneling that I just for some reason never ripped down. I need to finish staining the railing. I need to repair the trim work that was destroyed by that wall that they put in. So there's still quite a bit of work to do, and now I'm taking on this whole wallpaper thing. And the other, when you talk about this lighting fixture, I got it put in a while ago. I've never been happy with it. I think that it's just clashing vibes. It doesn't work. So gotta find that. So there's a lot to do, but we've also come a really long way. Like if you look at where this place started versus where it's at now, it's been a world of difference. And I'm so excited. Very soon, I'm going to have a video because this is going to be one of the next projects I tackle. Very soon, we are going to finish it. This brings us to the end of this video, but obviously not the end of this project. Even in this shot, you can see that there's like weird paint fixes. There's lots to do. Stay tuned for that video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to Cotton for sponsoring this video. They are linked down in the description, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye.